Hey guys, Rusty over here, and today we're going to be ranking the Halo games from the worst, I'm sure you can guess which one that is, to the best. Now, two quick disclaimers: I'm not going to be including the mobile games Halo Spartan Assault and the other one, or which one that is, and also not the RTS games, Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2. Also, I'm going to try and keep this short when I talk about certain segments, so meaning like campaign, forge, multiplayer, as this is just a broad sense of which I think which Halo game is the best. I'm going to be making separate videos for which I think which had the best multiplayer, which had the best campaign, etc. So let's get started with the video.
The Envoy are resisting. Throw the Envoy out the airlock.
So I have Halo 5 as being the worst Halo that has ever been created, and the reason for that is that, well guys, it's simple. It's because Halo 5 is literally liquid dog shit. Now, the story they have going for the campaign, it's not good. The reasons they gave for Cortana all of a sudden first being alive and all of a sudden being evil weren't good. It feels like it wasn't very well explained, and for someone picking up just Halo 5 and only playing the Halo games before, not having any understanding of the lore outside of the Halo games, they will have no idea what the fuck is going on. I barely did. It just wasn't very well explained. Now, the second problem I have with the campaign, this is a little subjective. Actually, it's very subjective. But there was no real epic moments for me in Halo 5. An example of an epic moment would be, say, the Warthog run at the end of Halo 3, or the ending cutscene for Cairo Station in Halo 2, or, you know, Master Chief gives the Covenant back their bomb. Those were epic moments in Halo for me. The closest thing that came to an epic moment in Halo 5 is going to be when Spartan Locke and Chief fought. That was kind of cool, I'll be honest. I thought that was a little cool. But other than that, there wasn't really anything for like that for me. Something that's always been in the Halo games were these key epic moments that showed the Master Chief as this badass motherfucker, or in case of Reach, these other badass motherfuckers, or even ODST, okay? I feel like those are missing from Halo 5. You wanna know something that wasn't missing from Halo 5 though? You know it, microtransactions. That's right, Halo 5 multiplayer had microtransactions. Now, I'll be honest, guys. I didn't play Halo 5's multiplayer too much. I played it for like maybe 2 to 3 months. Compared to what I played at other Halos, that's really not a lot. From what I understand with the microtransaction guys, they weren't too intrusive, but the fact that they were even there is an issue to me. Microtransactions, in my opinion, are a cancer to gaming in whole, and I thought I would never see the day where they were added in Halo 5. Well, Halo specifically, but they were added in Halo 5. It ruined it essentially for me. This is just for me. It ruined Halo 5 multiplayer for me. I know it's a bit ridiculous, but hey. And now, another thing with multiplayer is going to be, and honestly just Halo 5 as a whole, the gameplay is shit. I never thought I would see the day where you could aim down your sights in Halo 5 like it's a Call of Duty game. Now, I'm not talking like precision weapons like, you know, your DMR, your battle rifle, your snipers, pistols. Those have always been in Halo, where you can aim down your sights with those. And the reason for that is they're precision weapons. You should be able to look through a scope of a sniper rifle or your battle rifle to see down sights. The fact that I could aim down my sights for an energy sword, that does not belong in a Halo game, guys. Like, what am I gonna do? What? That does not belong in a Halo game, in my opinion, okay? Another thing to do with the gameplay, guys, I'm calling this enhanced mobility. I'm not sure what else it's called. And what I mean by that is the fact that you could grapple over walls. You could, for example, you could dash left, dash right, kind of if you ever play Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and games like that. Also, you could fucking Spartan charge. You could hold your melee in midair and do a ground pound. I don't like this enhanced mobility stuff. It's weird. Even in a Call of Duty game, I don't like that. The fact that it's in a Halo game is a big issue for me. Now, I feel like I'm being overly negative for Halo 5. And there's a reason for that. It's because it's liquid dog shit. But there is one thing Halo 5 did really, and I can't stress this enough, really fucking good, and that's going to be its Forge mode, guys. Essentially, what they did with the Forge mode, if you ever played StarCraft 2 or Warcraft 3, they essentially turned the Forge mode into a map editor. This led to probably some of the coolest custom games I have ever seen, even rivaling those of Halo 3. The fact that people, like, I mean, I'm not creative, I'm an idiot. The fact that people could create these cool and awesome maps, and 343 gave them these options to do that, that's definitely Halo 5's redeeming factor. Now, I'm gonna be honest, guys, there's other issues that I have with Halo 5, but I don't want to make it too long. Let's move on to the next one.
Time was your ally, human. But now it has abandoned you. The Foreigners have returned.
So, at number 6, I have Halo 4, and the reason why it's number 6 and not number 7 is that where Halo 5 is liquid dog shit, Halo 4 is just regular dog shit. Now, I want to start off with the story and what I think of it, and to be honest, guys, this may be a little surprising. I thought the story was actually okay. I didn't think it was amazing, but I also didn't think it was complete shit. Now, I do have one big problem with the story, and that has to do with the didact. I don't like how 343 let's be honest, guys, they might as well have just killed the didact off. Now, at the end of Halo 4, it looks like he dies, but outside of the game, we eventually find out that he's actually pulled into slip space, and he's eventually composed. But for someone who doesn't know lore outside of the games, they're pretty much dead to him, and 343 might as well just kill them off. So, I have an issue with that, is I really feel like the didact could have been an awesome villain. He should have been he should have been the truth of the new trilogy, the main villain that we were going after. Albeit the Flood was also there in the original trilogy, but I feel like the didact should have been the villain that at the end of Halo 6 we would have finally dealt with. Build him up throughout the first 2 Halos. I thought it would have been an awesome villain. I thought he was cool. But the problem with that, him just being introduced in Halo 4 and taken care of in Halo 4, is that there's no story build-up, there's no time for character development. Anyone who doesn't know lore outside of the main story they're not gonna know what's going on with him. They're like, okay, there's just this evil dude that we're gonna kill. Great. Anyways, that's just my only problem with the story, otherwise I thought it was okay. Now, 2 other problems I had with the campaign, not specifically the story in general. The first one, it has to do with Cortana. Now, throughout the campaign, 343 constantly reinforces the idea that Cortana's dying, with either her pretty much breaking while you're playing, you can see all the fuzzy stuff around your screen, or her pretty much crying and complaining that, oh, I'm dying, they're gonna replace me with another Cortana. Now guys, this is okay, but 343 did it, at least for me, way too much. Cortana basically came from someone who I actually enjoyed to someone who annoyed the shit out of me every time she opened her mouth. 343 turned her into a whiny bitch. They just reinforced the idea way too much that she was dying, in my opinion. Now, the other problem, by the way, if you thought that was ridiculous, get ready for this one. The other problem I have has to do with Master Chief. Now, I know how this is gonna sound, but get ready for this. You ready? You ready? Master Chief, he speaks way too fucking much in the new Halo. It's ridiculous. In Halo, I guarantee you, he speaks more in Halo 4 than in all 3 of the other Halos combined. It's insane to me. Now, why is this a problem, you might ask? At least the way I see it, before Halo 4, when Master Chief spoke, about 90% of his lines were awesome. They were epic. I always saw Master Chief as this epic badass who just basically he just fucked shit up. And every time he spoke, that helped reinforce the idea of that character. I didn't get that from Halo 4. In Halo 4, he was always trying, I get it that they're friends, but he's always trying to tell Cortana he's not going to let her die. He talks way too much, guys. He has no good lines in Halo 4, and when he speaks, it's not special. That's my personal problems with the campaigns there. Now, the multiplayer, for me, a lot of people thought it was complete shit, and I agree with about 80% of that. Now, in a lot of ways, Halo 4 actually reminded me a lot of Reach multiplayer, gameplay-wise, with a few exceptions. I don't know why. I just felt like I was playing Reach sometimes. Now, I have 2 big problems. Well, actually, I have a few problems, so let me go into that. First one is this is when Sprint was fully added into the game, meaning everyone has Sprint now. It's no longer just an armor ability. I don't think that belongs in a Halo game. We'll get to it being an armor ability later on, but I just don't think everyone having Sprint should be in a Halo game. Also, the fact that you could create classes. Like, if I want to create a class, I'll go play fucking Call of Duty. You should start with, there's only a few things you start with. An assault rifle, and a DMR or a BR. Any precision weapon. Also, a Magnum is a precision weapon. Your AR and a precision weapon. That's it. You don't get to choose which one it is. It depends on the game mode. You don't get to choose if you spawn with a storm rifle and, I don't know, a suppressor. Or a light rifle and a Covenant carbine. You find those guns on the map and you pick them up. That has always been the Halo gameplay. I don't like that they changed that up. Also, sticking kind of with this theme, I don't like the idea of Ordnance in the new Infinity Slayer. I think it is dumb that pretty much everyone gets a chance at a power weapon. The power weapons have always been placed on the map, they never change, so if you know where they are and you get there first, you put your team at an amazing advantage. That advantage is completely killed by everyone getting access to Ordnance, and I think it's ridiculous. Now, that's pretty much my main issues with the Halo 4 multiplayer. I'm sure after this video I'll think of some, but I don't want to go into too much detail since this is just basically ranking the Halos. Now, one other big, by the way, Forge was pretty much just a scuffed version of Reach. Let's be real here. There was no real good custom games in Halo 4. There's a few. Of course, there's always going to be a few. There's some creative people out there, but compared to Halo 3 and Reach, there weren't that many. Now, one more problem before I end Halo 4 is I don't like the way they're going with the art design. I feel that here's what they did to the Covenant. Now, my friends and I always joke that the Elite specifically looked like dinosaurs. It kind of feels like 343 heard us and basically went full fucking prehistoric on the Covenant. They all look like reptiles and dinosaurs. It's insane to me. The Elites, they might as well be T-Rexes with 4 mouths. Well, lips, I guess. I know this is subjective and is a personal gripe. I don't like the art style. I always thought the old art style, especially the Elites, looked so much fucking cooler. Now, guys, let's move on to number 5. We can finally talk about some good stuff.
On my mark.
What'd she just say?
Mark.
We're way off course,
We're heading exactly where I need to go.
but we're gonna miss the carrier. Radiation! Covenant just set off a nuke?
No, the carrier's going to jump. It's a slip-space rupture. You need to...
EMP, losing power! Stabilize! They popped your chutes! We're going in hard!
So, coming in at number 5, we have Halo 3 ODST. Now, besides the RTSs and the mobile games, Halo 3 ODST was the first Halo game that I did not buy on launch. And the reason for that, guys, is actually pretty simple. I can't believe I'm saying this, and I can't believe I thought it, but I thought ODST was going to suck ass. And boy, was I wrong. ODST is an amazing game. With such a small game, I can't believe how good it was. The campaign was incredible. It was the first campaign that wasn't centered around Master Chief. You were just playing as essentially yourself as a regular soldier. The rookie was pretty much your persona, or whatever you wanted it to be. It was you as an ODST, a soldier. You're no longer a super soldier. You're vulnerable. You don't have shields. You have health. I thought it was cool. The story was basically just about the ODSTs going to trying to save this tier 1 asset that could almost win the war. It was a small little side story, and I love how they told it. And most of all, I love how they showed what was going on Earth during Halo 2. Because we had no clue what was going on Earth during Halo 2 with Master Chief. He was over on Delta Halo fighting Covenant in the Flood. We had no clue what was going on, and ODST showed exactly what was going on, especially after the Slip Space event with New Mombasa during Halo 2. I fucking loved every moment of it, and just to continue with the campaign, the soundtrack with the nighttime missions, just walking through the nighttime city, trying to kill Covenant by yourself. You're just lone soldier, and you just have this smooth jazz music playing in the background that sometimes just went up just a little bit to the perfect moment to make it epic. It was fucking incredible. Playing the campaign, I still go back. I literally just played it like an hour ago. I still go back, play the nighttime missions. It just makes me feel good. And I love it. Now, ODST also brought the firefight mode with it, which, if you ever play Gears of War, is pretty much a horde mode. That's all it really is. It's nothing too special, but it was a fun little side thing to do with friends. You go in there, you survive as long as possible, and eventually had the Vidmaster challenge with it, but dear lord, that was a pain in the fucking ass. That's besides the point. Firefight was a fun little side activity. Now, the reason why I have ODST at number 5 and not any higher is it just doesn't have any multiplayer besides the firefight, and you can play your co-op campaign. But I'm talking like, hey, there's an asshole in front of me, I'm better than him, I'm gonna shoot him. There was none of that, which is why ODST was at number 5 for me. Now, let's move on to number 4.
How much firepower would you need to crack one of the engine's shields?
Not much. A well-placed grenade, perhaps, but why? Okay, I'm coming with you. Chief, sentinels!
So, coming in at number 4, we have Halo Combat Evolved. Now, I consider Halo Combat Evolved the original masterpiece. You wanna know why? It's because it was the original masterpiece. The original Halo game that set the stage for every other Halo game to follow, pre-Halo 4, of course. Now, for the campaign, I loved how simple it was. It was the first game, so it was the introduction of Chief, the Covenant, the Halo rings, basically what was going on. I loved how pretty much the Covenant were just these aliens that were out to kill you. There was some mentionings of the human Covenant war that was going on in the background, but pretty much they were just these assholes that were trying to kill you. And then pretty much the rest of the story just followed the exploration of the Halo ring that you stumbled upon, and I loved it. This led to wide open landscapes like Halo, Silent Cartographer, Assault in the Control Room, just a few examples, and it led to these, again, huge landscapes that you can explore all by yourself. Silent Cartographer is the perfect example. You land on this island, you're given a warthog, and you're told to go find the control room, and after that, the island is yours to explore. You could go wherever the fuck you want. So there's two things with that. You have the control room, and then you have the security room. If you go to the control room, you're pretty much forced to go find the security room, or you could do the quicker way. If you explore and find it, you could go to the security room first, which will prevent them from locking the door, and that's pretty much gets you through the mission quicker. And I love it. I just loved how big everything was and how much exploration you could do. And honestly, the story was amazing, and of course it culminated in an epic ending with the original Warthog run, with Chief escaping the Pillar of Autumn just as it explodes and fucking destroying an entire Halo ring. So that is Master Chief in his prime. Maybe not his prime, but at his beginning. That is the Master fucking Chief, dude. Now, Halo CE multiplayer, as we all know, didn't have Xbox Live. That doesn't make it shit, though. Kind of. So, I want to talk about the gameplay for CE first. Now, guys, let's compare today to modern Halo. I'm talking 3 Reach, even Halo 4. CE multiplayer is not good. It does not handle well. You pretty much just use magnums, snipers, and sometimes rockets if they're there. Pretty much though, it's basically just magnums. And honestly, the guns aren't that accurate. The gameplay, it just doesn't handle well compared to modern Halo. However, back then, it was fucking amazing. I had the time of my life. I used to have friends come over, I have 4 fucking controllers set up, and we'd just play Halo split screen all night. By all night, I mean till 11 o'clock, because we were like 7 years old. But who cares? That's besides the point. Halo CE multiplayer, even without Xbox Live, was still incredibly fun to play with your friends, and it led to a more social experience, which I think is awesome. And Halo CE, we wouldn't have the rest of the Halos without CE, so it's got to get up decently high on this list for me. Let's move on to number 3. So coming in at number 3, we have Halo 2. Now, in my opinion, Halo 2 had the best soundtrack out of all the Halos, and it didn't have the best campaign, that belongs to a different Halo, but it definitely had the most interesting in my opinion. Now, the reason for that is, in CE, we didn't know anything about the Covenant, just that they were a bunch of assholes attacking us and we were at a war with them. That's it. Halo 2 took an in-depth look at essentially what was going on inside the Covenant through the eyes of the Arbiter. Now, a lot of people thought this was a bit controversial, and I could see that, but personally, I loved it. It kept me engaged the entire time, basically hopping between the point of views of Chief and the Arbiter, and again, just seeing the look at inside the Covenant, what their life was like, what the leadership was like. I thought it kept me engaged throughout the entire campaign, and I loved every moment of it. Of course, Halo 2 had its epic moments. I just want to talk about the fucking end cutscene for Cairo Station. Holy shit. Chief just grabs onto that bomb, flies it through space, blows up an entire Covenant fucking carrier. That, honestly, right there, that is the Master Chief. That defines who the Master Chief is, in my opinion. It shows exactly who he is. I feel like 343 could take a lesson from that in Infinite and throw some epic fucking moments like that in there. In my opinion, best cutscene in Halo. Now, of course, in the campaign at the end, it didn't have an epic ending. However, it left us with a huge cliffhanger. He's gonna finish that fight, boys, and it made me incredibly excited for the next game. And I enjoyed the ending for Halo 2's campaign. Now, let's talk about what really made Halo 2 great, boys, and that was its motherfucking multiplayer. Halo 2 multiplayer it was so innovative. It basically made Xbox Live what it is today. I remember when it first came out. I got it. I logged into my first game. Guess what I got? First thing. That's right. The energy sword, dude. Halo 2 energy sword, the lunge on that shit, dude. You whip it out, fucking lunge halfway across the map. Might as well have. You just dick people down. Halo 2 multiplayer, Xbox Live. Incredible. Just absolutely amazing. That pretty much defined what Halo multiplayer is for me. There's power weapons on the map. They spawn randomly. Well, they don't spawn randomly. They spawn the same spot every time. And you know where they are. You go pick them up. You give your team a huge advantage. And you also have a pretty great time. Halo 2 multiplayer will always be remembered. Not the best multiplayer, again, belongs to a different Halo, but definitely the most innovative. And it pretty much made Halo, in my opinion, what it is today. I don't think without this, we wouldn't have the other Halos. At least they're good multiplayer. Alright, now before I move on to number 2 and 1, I just want to mention 2 and 1 are so incredibly close to me. I thought about this for hours. I talked about this with my friends, and honestly, my opinion always changes back and forth when I think about these two. So, for the purpose of the list, this is what I'm at right now, and let's move on to number 2.
Keep still, and I'll release you.
Meg, eat Vanak.
What's it saying? It's over!
We've been engaged! Bad guy coming out!
So coming in at number 2, we have Halo Reach. Now, Halo Reach was the second time Bungie is making a Halo that does not focus primarily on the Master Chief. And I thought in ODST it was gonna suck. I was wrong. The entire time Reach was about to come out, I was fucking hyped for it. I was so excited for Reach. Campaign, multiplayer, firefight. The Forge looked incredible. I was excited for it the entire motherfucking time. And I had a right to be, because it was awesome. Now, the campaign in Reach, let's talk about that. Now, the story was pretty much a prequel to Combat Evolved, and it followed the destruction of Planet Reach at the hands of the Covenant, while they were invading it, of course. And it also followed Noble Team. And just like ODST, you played as Noble 6, which was pretty much your persona put in-game. Except this time, you could customize how your Spartan looked. The customization you put for your Spartan multiplayer was pretty much put into campaign, which I thought was incredible. It was awesome. It was literally how you want it to be in-game, and I loved it. Now, for the story of Reach, it followed, again, the destruction of Reach. So what did Bungie do? They put amazing shots of pretty much just maybe you and the planet, or just the planet, with just the amazing soundtrack in the background. And honestly, it was awesome, and it made me feel good, and it was fairly epic. Now, I want to talk about Noble Team. It was pretty genius what Bungie did there, and they you know what? They're fucking assholes for doing it. You ready for this? They introduce Noble Team, these badass Spartans. They get you connected to them. They get you close to them, and what do? They start killing them off one by one by one. It's insane, the amount of connection, how quickly they set up that connection, and then you just tear it away from you. And every single time a member of Noble Team died, I was upset. Especially Emil. Hearts out to Emil. Yeah, at least he took 2 of these with him. Now, again, Reach's campaign was incredible. It was epic, and of course it ended epically with you making basically a lone wolf stand against a shit ton of elites and taking a bunch of them out with you. And of course, seeing at the end of the cutscenes, I think this was a legendary only ending, I don't remember exactly. Pretty much the cutscene going into Combat Evolved with Keys asking, did he make it or did they make it? Pretty much the beginning of Combat Evolved. And also adding in the little Easter egg, if you hold it right on the thumbstick during the end cutscene at Pillar Bottom, seeing Master Chief in his cryo tube. Perfect touch to the game. The campaign, priceless. Now, before I go into multiplayer, because I have a lot to talk about that, I want to talk about the Forge. So, Halo 3 introduced the Forge mode, which is pretty much, you build your own shit, you could add, like, blocks and shit, you know what I mean, you basically build your own map, kind of. Halo Reach took that and made it 20 times better, which led to some of the most amazing custom games ever. The ability to make objects float in the air or blend inside with each other was incredible, and it just led to some of the most fun custom games I ever played with my friends, and I have so many good memories playing there. Now, that's a little bit of nostalgia, but I feel like it's important to throw that in there. Now, oh, and also there was Firefight, which is pretty much ODST, and they added it so you could pretty much be overpowered, so if you wanted to go kill shit for a few minutes or a few hours, there you go. There's really not too much to talk about Firefight, in my opinion. It was okay. Now, the main meat of Reach was its multiplayer. In my opinion, Halo Reach had the absolute best multiplayer out of any Halo. The amount of strictly, not just because of not even because of the gameplay, because of the progression system outside of the game or outside of the multiplayer. Now, what you would do after your game ends, you would get credits, and this would do 2 things. One, it would start to fill your bar up, which would level you up, and I'm going to talk about the ranking system. It pretty much got you through the ranks of the military, which was awesome, and instead of just stopping at general, it went higher into what I call Spartan ranks, which is like, you know, Field Marshal, Legend, Noble, and eventually you get all the way onto Inheritor, which was 2 million credits. It's absolutely insane. And with these credits, they wouldn't just be used for leveling. They would be used to buy gear from the armory or Spartan armor, and you could use that to customize your character. It essentially gave you a reason, besides just killing assholes, to go and play multiplayer. You want to unlock this helmet or this armor ability, well, not ability, this armor effect, you go play multiplayer and you buy it with your credits, and you get to choose what you buy and unlock, and I loved it. And the amount of customization reach, I think there was like something like 8 or 10 different customization options, and then on the helmets you could choose to sport like little head attachments on them. There was an incredible amount of customizations reach. There was head, shoulders, knees and toes, sorry, chest, knee pads, utility pads, visor color, armor effects. You could even fucking choose your firefight voice. I loved it. The amount of customization and reach basically led me to play it over and over and over again, even if I was bored of multiplayer, just because I wanted to unlock that next armor piece. And I truly hope 343, even though they said they're already... So 343 said people who like the Reach armor customization would be happy. I'm looking forward to that in Infinite. If they put that in Infinite, I'm excited, dude. Now, of course, Reach had its negative, and this is why I'm putting it in Halo 2. Halo Reach introduced the armor abilities, which, as we know from Halo 4 and 5 in there, I'm not a fan of. Now, I didn't think they were as bad in Halo 4 and 5, because at least Sprint, you had to choose between Sprint and Jetpack, because let's be honest, you'll really only use Sprint and Jetpack. Oh, and Armor Lock. Fuck you if you use Armor Lock. You only really choose between those three, let's be real. Now, at least if you didn't choose Sprint, you chose Jetpack, you didn't automatically have Sprint. It didn't make it that bad in my opinion. However, the addition of the arm abilities in Reach led to pretty much the addition of everyone having Sprint in Halo 4, and then of course, even worse in Halo 5 with the enhanced mobility gameplay. And in my opinion, that is the only negative in Reach. However, albeit it's kind of a big one. That's why I have it out at number 2 and not number 1. And I'm sure you can figure out what that is right now. Let's get to it.
All ships, fire at will.
And coming in at number 1, the best Halo. Halo 3, boys. What a fucking game that was. Halo 3, the best campaign out of any Halo. The campaign was so fucking good. It was an ending to the original trilogy, and boy, what a good ending it was. It was very, very satisfying. Now, before we get there, of course, I want to talk about just the campaign in general. Now, it took a lot of inspiration from Combat Evolved with its landscapes, and they were very wide open. Now, what this did, this pretty much led Bungie to pretty much make a ton of epic battles in these wide open landscapes. A few examples of this: the Ark, when you're going into the 3 tanks coming out at the end after you just open the light bridge. You have the Scarab at the end, you can destroy Phantoms, you have a shit ton of raids, shit's exploding everywhere. The end of the Covenant, well, kind of almost the end. When you're about to breach a Citadel, you're in your Hornet, you have 2 fucking Scarabs that land, dude, and you have to take care of them both. There's fucking Banshees flying around, you have other Hornets, you have tanks. So many epic battles that were in Halo 3, strictly because of its open landscape. And again, unlike Halo 2, which is pretty much a linear thing, there's a lot of room for exploration in Halo 3 campaign, and I loved it. Now, in terms of the gameplay, the only thing they really added to it was the armor abilities. Now, this is more a thing for multiplayer, and I think it was more fun in there. In campaign, it was more like a cool addition. Like the bubble shield, for example, was a nice to have saved. I don't think too much of it for the campaign. Now, for the story of the campaign, so many epic moments. I can't think of a cutscene in Halo 3 that didn't get me pumped and excited to see the next one. I was hyped the entire time through Halo 3. The ending of the Storm mission, the cinematic there with the fucking piano playing in the background, the music, the soundtrack combined together with the cutscenes just made them so epic. I'm thinking about that for a second. And of course, we can't forget about the last mission. Probably the absolute best moment in Halo history was the Warthog run in Halo 3. Think about this. You just activated... Oh, by the way, the Sergeant Johnson death scene. If there's ever going to be a cutscene in a video game to make me cry, that would be it. Now, where was I? Warthog run. You just activated Halo. It's about to fucking eviscerate your ass. You need to get the hell out of there. You've climbed through the mountains, destroy some flood sentinels. You're getting Johnson's hog. You're driving. You get the theme song playing in the background. Fucking shit's exploding around you. You go off that one jump, explosion hit from under you. You're going up in the air. Again, Shabor's just fucking exploding around you. You look behind you, by the way. The floor's collapsing. You don't... And eventually, of course, you make it to the end. By the way, you don't just drive into the dawn. You fucking drive off a jump into the dawn. The Warthog run. So fucking good. And of course, the epilogue ending Halo 3. We think Chief's dead. Nuh-uh. He's in the cryo sleep, which of course gets us excited for another Halo. Too bad Halo 4 sucked. Now, I want to talk about, before I go into multiplayer, I want to talk about Forge mode. Now, just like Reach, all Forge mode did was pretty much gave you the ability to make your own custom maps and your own game modes, which led to amazing custom games and basically infinite fun. Infinite replayability with people always making maps. And in my opinion, Halo 3 had the best custom games out of all the Halos. I have so many good memories, which I know is nostalgia, but I feel is important for this video. And so many good memories just playing those custom games. Now, for the multiplayer, a lot of people consider Halo 3 the pinnacle of Halo multiplayer. And for me, while it was incredibly amazing, I still think Reach was better. However, like I just said, Halo 3 multiplayer pretty much took Halo 2's multiplayer and just made it better. Everything was great, and then the addition of the equipment was incredible. It was basically a halfway point between Halo 2 no equipment and Halo 4, Halo 4 and Reach's armor abilities. I think it was perfect. Unlike the armor abilities in Reach and 4, you actually had to know how to use the equipment and use it well. And of course, you had to go on the map to find it. Not everyone got it. And guys, the ranking system in Halo 3 took it to a whole new level, progressing again through the ranks of the military that would later be continued to Reach. And again, Halo 3 multiplayer, I just thought it was good. There's really nothing else to say. So, there you have it, guys. At the worst, I have Halo 5, and at the best, I have Halo 3. If you agree with my list, or if you have your own list, feel free to leave a comment below with it, and let me know what you think. If you like this video, guys, please throw it a like, please subscribe to the channel, and thank you very much for watching, guys. See ya.